guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, Mimi the Brat, aka Camilla, and today I got a story time for y'all. I asked on my Instagram story if people would be interested in watching like a story time on my first date, so all of the people who voted said yes, so that's what we're doing. Alright, so this was actually recently. It was in May, I think. Yeah, it was May. It was May. It was like towards the end of May, kinda. But yeah, it was May. And I had started talking to this boy on Instagram. We're going to name him Jeff. So I met Jeff in May, and yeah, like I said, like we started talking on Instagram. Now mind you, I only knew this boy for 4 days before I went on a date with him. So this is about like, what is it, like I met him on the Tuesday and I went on a date with him the Saturday. So this is not something that lasted that long. So I started talking to him Tuesday. He asked me to go on the date like Wednesday or Thursday. One of those days, honestly, I don't remember, y'all, but it was one of those days. And like, I didn't have to do nothing. Usually I'm the one trying to come up with ideas because they always be like, it's whatever you want to do. Like, please come up with something, plan a date, and just ask me to go so I could just say yes and we could go. Like, what do you mean? Like, I hate when people say that. But I'm like, okay, like, you know. I asked him where we was gonna go or whatever. Boom. He was like, the movies. I'm like, boom. What movie you're gonna watch? He told me what movie he was gonna watch. I'm like, boom. Like, period. Like, at least he planned the date. And then he said that it was he said that it was all on him, so like I didn't have to pay for anything. So I'm like, period. So I'm like, okay, let's go then. So I'm still talking to him. Then boom, Saturday comes around. Let's say it's about like 1 something, and no, I think it was earlier than that. I think I had got up at like 10 or 11. Yeah. And Jeff had texted me to say like good morning and stuff, and if I was asking if I was okay. So I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, you know, I have to get up early because I wanted to make sure that I'm dressed and ready to go so that I'm on time for the date. So Jeff is like, he didn't start getting ready yet or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like, you're a boy. Like, what are you really gonna go do? You're not gonna go do anything. For real. Jeff says that he's about to go, wait, no. Jeff went to the barbershop the day before. I don't think it was the same day. Or did he? Did you, Jeff? No, I'm just kidding. Jeff, you better not be watching this video. Yeah. But if you are watching this video, you know why stuff ended the way it did. But anyway, Jeff. So, yeah. I think he had got a haircut the day before. I don't think that it was the same day. But if it was the same day, then I'm bugging. But yeah, so he did that. He was saying like he wasn't getting ready yet. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting ready because I'm a girl and I take longer. I have to get dressed, put my lashes on, fix my hair a little bit. The rest that I can, like, I got stuff to do, Jeff. So that's why I'm up. So even though I woke up early, I was not. Still wasn't on time for the date. But neither was Jeff. Jeff, first of all, the movie theater that we went to is in Jeff's area. Like, he's closer to it than I am. Kinda. Or maybe it's the same different distance. I don't know. But it's in the same, would it be a county? I don't even know. But like, it's in the area that Jeff lives in, period. So Jeff was being weird. Like, I don't know, like, he wasn't really texting back fast and stuff. So I was thinking that, you know, like, Jeff was getting ready and that's why. So I'm just like, okay. Then Jeff, or like, it was like, what, about to be 2:30 at this time. Mind you, the movie started at like 1:15. So, oh yeah, he was saying like, oh, are we linking and then going there together, or are we gonna meet each other there? So I'm like, nah, we're gonna meet each other there. So he's like, why? And I'm like, Jeff, bro, like, for safety reasons. Like, I don't have to meet you somewhere. I can meet you at the movie theater, Jeff. Yeah, that's what we agreed to do. We never said that we was gonna meet up. And even so, I would not do that. Like, I need to be in a public place, because who knows where we could be going, Jeff? Who knows where we could be meeting up at, Jeff? Like, no, we need to meet up at the movie theater because we're going to the movies, right, Jeff? So that's where we need to be at. So he's like, you should have took the bus or whatever. I was like, I was going to take the bus and stuff. But, like, I asked my dad to drop me because it was already mad late. I felt so bad because, you know, I'm here thinking that Jeff is on the way, about to reach there before me or that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me hurry up and go because it's only like a couple-minute drive if you drive. But if you take public transportation, it's going to take you longer. So I was like, let me just, you know, get this little drop off or whatever so that I could be there pretty quick. Because I feel bad for being late for Jeff. Yeah, I was waiting for Jeff for a little bit over an hour. Yeah, I was waiting for Jeff for such a long time. And Jeff, I kept on contacting him and asking him, like, you know, where was he at, if he's on the way. He's like, yeah, I'm on the way. I'm like, so how far are you and stuff? And he didn't want to tell me, but he was like, I'm almost there. Then Jeff, or like, oh, he waiting for the Uber. Because, you know, I kept asking him while I was waiting. Because I'm like, bro, why is it taking you so long? How come I got here before you when you live, like, in this area, bro? Don't make no sense. Jeff was, or like, he was coming. So I'm like, Jeff, at this point, like, what the hell, Jeff. Now, other people, they probably would have left all that, but me, I was like, let me just stay and see. Let me find out this boy is not catfishing me, because that happened to me before. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, can't let that happen to me again. So I need to be here. But yeah, so I'm waiting for Jeff, and Jeff keeps saying that he's coming, but Jeff was taking dumb long, and I'm starting to get dumb tight now. I'm like, bro, I know that I was late, but you're way later than me, and that's just like mad weird. Like, you don't ask somebody to go on a date and then, like, you're late. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I was late too, but like, If anything, I should have been later than him. He shouldn't have been later than me. Like, that's mad weird. Like, Jeff, what are you doing other than putting on clothes and coming? Like, you don't got nothing else to do, Jeff. So why did it take you so long, Jeff? But then Jeff was like, oh, because I'm still trying to ask him, like, where are you, bro? Like, you're starting to get me dumb tight now. Like, why are you taking so long? Jeff was like, oh, do you want to buy the tickets and I'll just give you, like, you know, the money back when I come? I'm like, Jeff, how far are you, Jeff? Because, like, what do you mean buy the tickets and then you give me the money back? No. You said that you was paying for everything, so you're gonna pay for everything. Ain't no I paid and you give me the money back. No. When you come here, you're going to pay for it yourself, Jeff. Okay? But I'm like, why are you so far? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you seem like you're dumb far, because there's no way that you're mad close to me right now and you trying to talk about I should buy the tickets and, like, no. Oh yeah, mind y'all, by this time, bro, I forgot to mention this, by the time that he got there, of course the movie was already like deep and the movie was almost done by the time he came. By the time that I came, it still would have been like halfway into the movie and it wouldn't make sense to watch it anyway. But by the time he got there, the movie was over. Okay, the movie was done. So he was asking me like, what's showing right now? So that's when I showed him, and then that's when he was like, yeah, like, you want to buy the tickets and then I'm gonna give you the money back. I was like, no, because where are you? Because what are you talking about? Like, you talking about some I buy the tickets and you give me the money back? No, Jeff, it's not how it works, Jeff. When you get here, then we can buy the tickets and stuff. So I'm on the phone with my friends. I was talking to two of my friends, bro. I talked to two of them on the phone while I was waiting for this man. So I'm on the phone with the second friend and I'm telling her, like, bro, I'm so fed up. This is trash. Da da da. Like, he's taking dumb long. Like, he's starting to get me tight. Blah blah blah. So then Jeff was like, oh, he here or whatever. So I'm like, now I'm starting to get a little nervous because I'm like, oh no, Jeff is here. It's Jeff. Like, Jeff. Oh my god. Ooh, like, I wonder what he's gonna think of me and what am I gonna think of him. Yeah. So I see Jeff eventually. At first when he said that he was here, like, I was looking in the parking lot and all of that because I went to go sit down like by the window. So I'm looking and I'm like, bro, where is Jeff? Jeff said that he's here, but I do not see Jeff. Why Jeff walking from like where the mall is at? Like, that's stupid. Why would you make the Uber or Lyft the Uber, because that's what he said. Why would you make the Uber drop you where the actual mall section is? Why you don't make the why you didn't set it to the movie theaters? Like, it just don't, Jeff, it don't make no sense, Jeff. So I see Jeff walking. I'm like, oh, that's him. Oh, okay, it's Jeff, the same Jeff that I seen on thing. Like, okay, he looked just like the picture and he's just as tall as he said that he was. He wasn't lying. Yeah, like, that's Jeff. So I turn around and I'm talking to my friend on the phone. I'm like, he about to walk in right now. Like, let's see if Jeff even notices, because I was looking at first and when he came he looked so like clueless and he was just looking around like he didn't know where I was. So I'm like, Jeff, bro, like, you're being a little slow right now. Like, I'm obviously over here. Like, if you would have came in and you would have looked right there, you would have saw me, Jeff. I mean, wow, I just cracked my knuckle. You could see me by the hair, Jeff. So then he like comes or whatever. So I look and I'm just like, hi. Like, the fuck? Like, why you just standing there as if I'm just supposed to like feel your presence and I'm just supposed to get up? Like, no hi, no nothing, no hug to say hi either, Jeff. So I'm like, all right. So he's like, what movie do you want to watch? So we looking at the showtime for the movie and like, it was clipped for us, but that movie, there was no other showtimes until like 9 or 10. So I'm like, nah, by that time the date need to be over, but I need to be going home, Jeff. So we not finna watch that movie. We need to watch another movie. Y'all, there was another movie that we could have watched. I'm like, this look like it's good, we should watch this one. So then the lady, we tell her, and she looks at like the seating arrangements or whatever on the thing. So there was only like seats in the front or whatever that's left, which is fine. Like, I've watched a movie in the front and it wasn't like super weird or anything. It was fine. So I'm like, all right, like, that's fine. He's like, no, we can't sit in the front. I'm not sitting in the front, bro. So I'm like, what's wrong with sitting in the front? Like, you being mad weird, but okay. So then there was a little kid movie that was playing, and that movie had back seats. So he's like, yeah, we'll just watch this one. And the showtime was like almost an hour later from like that time. So we picked that one, and we picked the seats. Well, it wasn't me. He did it. He did it all. So I'm like, all right, boom. What are we gonna do now? We leaving out the movie theater, and we about to go, like, well, at least I thought we were gonna go walk in the mall section. When we went to the door, Jeff didn't even hold the door for me and let me go through first. Like, Jeff, it's not giving gentleman right now, bro, Jeff. But whatever. So we go through the door. He like, oh, like, what do you want to do or whatever? So I'm like, let's go walk around the mall to, like, you know, kill some time. So he's like, okay. So we walking, and then he was like, but you dead, like, waited for me though. That's what's up. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what took you so long. Like, really shouldn't have waited for you, for real. And he gonna say, but yeah, get used to it. So I'm like, get used to it? What are you talking about? Like, I'm confused. So I'm like, get used to it. He's like, yeah, because, like, I'ma always be late. So I'm like, why would you, like, strive to be late? Like, that's mad weird. What you talking about? Like, what do you mean you always gonna be late? Like, you're not always supposed to be late to a date. Like, you're not supposed to be late, period. I was late, so I can't really say nothing, but he was like OD late. So for him to say, oh, get used to it and stuff like that, like, that's not what you say. Like, what? And then he's like, yeah, like, I'm just a slow moving person. Like, I don't know what to say. You know what? It be the time be moving too fast. I was like, no, Jeff, you just be moving too slow, and you just don't be paying attention to the time. You made yourself late on purpose. Because what was you doing at home, Jeff? You wasn't doing nothing at home. And then the time that you told me that you was leaving, you wasn't even leaving at that time, Jeff. Because when I asked you where you was at, Jeff, you was like that you was on the way here, and you knew that you wasn't on the way, because now you were like, oh, you waiting for the Uber. How you waiting for the Uber and you already told me that you was on the way? Like, it don't make no sense. So I'm like, bro, this is mad weird right now. Like, I want to go home now. Because, like, what? Like, who tells somebody that on a date? You come late, you going to say get used to it. Like, that's mad messed and weird, bro. Like, what is that? So I'm like, all right, we're just going to have to make the best of it and stuff. So we get, like, to the mall section. So then I see him, like, low-key walking towards the parking lot. So I'm like, Jeff, the mall is over here. Like, where are we going? So there's this, I don't know, they're probably still building right now, but they're building something over there. And he was like, oh, like, let's go over there and see what that is, because I don't know what it is. So I'm like, you could clearly see that they're still building, like, and it's not open. So why are we going over there? He's like, no, it is open. There's a door right there. Just because there's a door doesn't mean that it's open. Like, so I'm like, bro, I know that it's not open. Like, you could clearly see that they building, and I could see all the way from over here across the parking lot that they obviously, they're not open. Like, you could just tell that does not look like an open store. So he's all like, oh, like, let's just go anyway. So now I'm dumb tight, and he already starting to annoy me because, like, why do you want to go over there? And I just said that I know that it's closed, and I knew it. We walk over there, and while we're walking over there, he all like, oh, why you complaining? I'm like, because you was dumb late, so you don't even get to say nothing to me because you was OD late, bro. And then I know that this place is closed. I know it's not open. I know that they're still building because you can literally see the people, like, with the cranes and stuff. They still building, bro. So why are we going over here? That's why. Like, and I'm not even complaining for real. I'm just telling you, like. So we get over there. What did I say, bro? It was closed. So I'm like, bro, you just made us walk over here for nothing, bro. Like, come on, Jeff. Like, I told you that it was closed. I knew it was closed. Didn't I tell you it was closed, Jeff? And you want to walk over here anyway. For what? Being mad weird. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to where the storage is at now. It don't make sense for us to be over here no more. Like, come on. Like, so we're walking, and I don't know where Jeff is going. I mean, literally, he walked past the entrance to, like, where the stores is at. So I'm like, where are we going or whatever? So then there's a circus. So I'm like, bro, that's weird. Like, there's never been a circus over here, like, in the parking lot, kind of. Like, that's weird. I never seen that. So he's like, do you want to go to the circus? So I was like, I would love to go to the circus, but we already bought movie tickets, so how we gonna go to the circus and then go to the movies? And then on top of that, it's almost time for the movie now. So, like, it's just, no, it's not gonna happen. It would make sense to go to the circus and the movies. But I wanted to go in there. I really did. If we didn't buy the movie tickets, we would have went to the circus. More than likely, because I said I wanted to go to the circus. But yeah, so we just seen that, it's just that over there. So we're walking back, and he's like, let's go over there. So I'm like, what is over there, Jeff? There's only restaurants over there, and there's a Stop and Shop over there. So Jeff was like, we want to go to Stop and Shop. So I'm like, why are we going to Stop and Shop? Like, there's nothing in Stop and Shop, bro, but, like, groceries. Why are we going to Stop and Shop? Jeff gonna try to make a joke and say we going to Stop and Shop. Yeah, I promise you I didn't laugh. I was just looking at him like, bro, that was mad corny, bro. Like, bad joke. I'm like, bro, there's literally no reason for us to go to Stop and Shop. It don't make no sense. Why you rather go to Stop and Shop and there's stores over here we could just walk around in the store? Like, why do we need to go to Stop and Shop? You know, like, you never know. You might need something. I was like, I know that I'm not gonna need anything. It really don't make sense for us to go in here. But since you want to go, and I guess it'll, like, kill time and stuff, like, we'll just go. So we go to Stop and Shop, and he's walking in front of me, so I'm walking behind him. So I'm like, so why are we in here? Like, but what did you come here for? So he's like, I need water, tissues, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, what you plan to do? Cry in the kid movie? Why do you need tissues? Like, that's mad weird. So we go to the aisle where the tissues is at. Well, first of all, we walking around the whole store, and he's like, where's the tissues? Where's the tissues? So I'm like, all right, let's not be dumb. Let's look up at the signs that are there to help us, Jeff. So I look, and I'm like, oh, that one says tissues, and, you know, like the other stuff that's in the aisle was up there too. And I'm like, it's this aisle. So he's like, okay. We go to the aisle, and he gets a box of tissues. Not like the big box of tissues like this, but the small box of tissues. So I'm like, okay, you found the tissues. What else are you trying to get? Like, I'm trying to get out of the store. Because I'm like, bro, there's no reason why we're in a grocery store right now. Why are we in Stop and Shop, bro? Like, I was dumb tight. Because I'm like, bro, there's no reason for us to be here. So he got the tissues, and he's like, I need water. And he's like, do you think they would sell, like, you know, like bottles of water? I'm like, yeah, but more than likely it's gonna be in the front in like one of those like fridges or whatever. So he's like, all right. So we're walking through the aisle, about to go like up to the front. Jeff gonna say catch. I'm like, bro, do not throw that box of tissues to me. If you want me to hold the box of tissues, which I don't even want to hold the box of tissues, but if you want me to hold the box of tissues, bro, give it to me. Do not throw the box of tissues to me. He don't throw the box of tissues anyway. After, like, you didn't hear what I said? Like, come on, Jeff. Like, you already got me tight. You already starting to annoy me, and you about to make it worse for yourself. I caught the box of tissues. We go to the front. He gets the water. So now we're in line. And I'm just standing there. And I didn't have my mask on. Because when we were walking in the parking lot to the store that I told him was not open, but he still wanted to go to, he was like, wait, put on your mask a little bit. Or take your mask off. He said one of the others. He was like, he got to make sure that, like, I'm pretty. So I'm like, all right. So I pulled the mask down, and he's like, look at me. So I look at him, and I'm like, bro, like, this is mad weird. Like, and he was like, oh, okay, you're pretty. So I'm just like, okay, thanks, Jeff. I'm about to put my mask back on. He like, why you putting your mask back on? So I'm like, all right. But then back to us being in Stop and Shop. So we in the line, and like I said, my mask is not on. And one thing about me is if I don't say anything, you're going to see it on my face. You're just going to see it. So I'm there, and I'm just like, because we're waiting. So he looks at me, and he's like, you okay? So I'm like, yeah. In my head, though, I'm dumb tight. I'm here texting my friends in the group chat on Instagram, and I'm like, bro, this boy is getting me tight. Why are we in Stop and Shop right now? They laughing and stuff. And then one of them was like, oh, don't be mean. This, that, and they're like, no. Because y'all gonna see why I should have been, like, meaner. And me, I'm not even a mean person, bro. When you get me tight and I'm annoyed by you and stuff, that changes everything. But anyways, so we're still in the line, and then he picks like some candy out, and then he was like, you want candy? So I'm like, no. And he was like, why not? And I'm like, because I don't want none. Like, if you ask me if I want something and I say no, why are you looking at me like I'm crazy and asking me why don't I want none? I just don't want none, Jeff. Like, don't get me dumb tight. So I'm like, yeah, like, I don't want none or whatever. And so we're there. Then he pays for the candy and the water and the tissues, but he didn't have nowhere to put it because they wasn't giving out bags. So tell me why this boy spent like $5 on 2 reusable bags. just to put the box of tissues, the water, and the candy in it. So he buys it. We're walking out the store, and there's a bee. I was about to say y'all know, but I don't like bees. I don't like bees. Bees, I hate them, and I'm scared of them. So every single time that I see a bee or whatever, best believe I'm going to scream and I'm going to run. And even if I don't scream, I'm going to run and move out the way. So I'm like, ooh, I hate bees. So I'm trying to move out the way. He like, you don't like bees? Or you scared of bees? He said one or the other. I'm like, yeah, like I'm scared. I don't like bees. And so he's just what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't have to like bees, okay? I don't like bugs, period. Don't like them. But yeah, so we walk and I'm like, all right, like it's almost time for the movie now, so we might as well just go back to the movie theater. So he's like, all right. We walk in. Now the Stop and Shop is all the way on the hill, so now we have to walk like all the way down and go all the way back over to the movie theaters, because the Stop and Shop is like across from the there's some hair on my face and I can't, okay, I got it. Yeah, so it's across from there. So we, walk in. So I'm like, okay. We get to like where the cars is at, and it was like a car coming, but me, I don't care. Like, if a car is coming and I know that I have like the right to cross the street, and like especially if I let mad cars go and I'm like, all right, I'm about to cross the street now, I'm going to cross the street, bro. Like, I don't care. Jeff gonna look at me and be like, bro, what you doing? So I'm like, bro, I'm crossing the street. Like, and he grabbed my arm, or like, oh, like, you was about to get hit by a car. I'm like, no, I was about to cross the street, because like I always cross the street. Like, not to jinx myself, but I ain't never get, no car is not gonna hit me. You see me crossing the street, you gonna wait. This is New York, like, stop playing. So why Jeff gonna call me an idiot? And he like, so I'm like, don't play with me, Jeff. Did you just call me an idiot? Like, what, bro? Don't play with me. We get to this other side of the street. We're walking. Then we're like across from the movie theaters now. And we're across from movie theaters. And they're not gonna, well, the movies don't really care like that. But, they don't want you to bring, like, outside stuff in there like that. So he's like, put this candy in your bag. He bought candy and he bought gum. He's like, put it in your bag. So I'm like, what you mean, put it in my bag? Mind you, my bag was like, like this big. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how am I supposed to fit that in my bag, bro? He gonna say, take your stuff out and put it in. Jeff, are you crazy? Like, this is my bag and you're asking me to put your stuff in my bag. So why would I take my stuff out of my bag to put it in your bag? So I'm trying to stuff what I could stuff in there. I'm not taking my stuff in my bag, because I'm not doing that. I'm trying to stuff the stuff in there. He's like, bro, what do you have in here that can't fit? Don't get mad at me, Jeff. This is my bag. I'm doing you a favor by putting my stuff in there. By putting your stuff in there. See, Jeff, you're making me say the wrong thing. But anyways, so I had to take out like my I was about to say my toothbrush. My brush for my hair. And everything fit in the bag. So I'm like, okay, put this brush like in the Stop and Shop bag that you got. And he put it in there. So we going into the movie theaters now. We in there. You gotta show them your ticket. So Jeff go in his pocket and he pull out one ticket. So The man like, it's 2 y'all, like, where's the other ticket? He like, I just had it. Hold on. He going back in his pocket. He digging. He was like, this is all I got. So I'm like, Jeff, I know you didn't lose the movie ticket. I know you didn't lose the ticket. How are we gonna watch the movie together if you don't have the ticket, Jeff? So he digging, y'all. It was in the pocket of his hoodie. He was like, oh, here it is. Like, oh, here it is. Why you couldn't find it before? Like, so we on the line now, like, to get like snacks or whatever. So he's like, what do you want? So I'm like, I don't want anything. Then I'm like, I changed my mind. I was like, I want a slushie. And he's like, you want a slushie? Okay. So I'm like, yep. So I'm happy because I'm gonna get a slushie now. I love slushies. And so we're there, we're in line, we get up there. And why Jeff gonna order popcorn, nachos, and then it comes with a drink, and then he got my slushie. She gonna ask what size it come in. Why he gonna say large? Jeff, do I look like I'm gonna finish a large slushie to you? He was low-key making comments like that. Like, he just think that I just eat a whole lot. Like, don't play with me.